Hey guys, so I discovered an interesting tip that I want to share with everybody. I found a way that I could make my own sort of really cheap FPV DVR using this Eachine ER32 receiver. This is 5.8 gigahertz 32 channel receiver, and this USB video adapter or video capture adapter. It's called EasyCAP, but it's also more widely known as an EasyCAP. And I have a video signal actually going right now to my laptop from this camera here and this video transmitter here. Is pointing at that little action figure. And I'll put my hand in front of here like this, and you can see that it's moving. I wouldn't recommend this setup for doing any kind of like FPV in terms of using it to fly. This is mostly just to record your flights if you want to record it. The latency is fairly high in this setup. It's about half a second, so it really isn't that practical. But if you don't have a DVR and you happen to have a receiver and an EasyCAP and a laptop, you can very easily record your flights to your computer. And let me show you how I set this up. When you plug in the EasyCAP device right here into your USB port, on my computer I didn't have to install any drivers, it just showed up. So in my device manager here, it shows up here as a USB TV tuner. And the application I'm using is called VLC Media Player. And I'll put links to all of these parts and download the software and everything, the links to all this stuff in the description below. But let me show you how to get this to show up on your laptop. So I'll stop this first. So what you do is you go ahead and you download VLC Media Player and install it. And then when you launch it, you get this window like this. And the first thing you want to do is go to Media. And then select Open Capture Device. And then under Capture Mode, you want to make sure that Direct Show is selected. And then under Video Device Name, you want to select your particular device. Now for me, it shows up as a OEM device. It's probably something because it's generic capture device, and it's going to depend on what your particular capture device is. It'll show up. The name might be different, so you'll have to figure out what yours is called in here in this list. Because on my laptop here, this other device called the Lenovo Easy Camera is actually the web camera that's on top of the screen. Which wouldn't work for this. So you want to figure out which one is the device that is plugged into your computer and select that. So in my case, it's OEM device. And for me, I don't have any audio coming, or I'm not coming out of my receiver, so I just selected none. If I didn't do that, I had some issues getting this to work. So if you're having problems, just make sure you select none for the audio device. Okay. The next thing you want to do is click on Advanced Options, and you want to make sure you select Device Properties here, and then click OK, and then you hit Play. Then you're going to get another box over here. You want to select whatever your video standard is that the camera is producing. So in my case, it's NTSC-M. If you have a PAL camera, you have to select one of the PAL standards. You have to look at the documentation for your camera to see which one applies for your camera. So this is the one that works for me, and then it says here signal detected 1, lines detected 525. And if you see a 0 for those two, that means you probably have selected the incorrect device and need to go back and start over. Usually if you have the right device selected, it'll show up. If not, you may have sub devices within your receiver. So So for example, I selected the correct one here for me, but it still showed up as 0. And when I clicked OK, you get to this next screen, click OK again. And then I had to select the actual input. So if your device has for some reason, mine has two. One's a video tuner in and one's a video composite in, and mine was defaulted to this other one, the tuner in, and I couldn't get a signal at first, which was driving me crazy. I couldn't figure out why. But once I figured out that I had to select the video composite in, everything worked. So that's something you should make sure you check. Make sure that if you have more than one showing up on your list here, then you have to find the right one for you. And if you click OK, then your video signal will then show up. Now, this is a live output, so you can see what's going on right now. I'm going to put my hand in front of the camera again. If you want to record, bring the mouse over. Where's the mouse? Okay. If you want to record your video, then you have to right-click down here, because usually the record button doesn't show up by default. So you right-click over here in this blank space. You bring up this menu, and you hit the record button. Then it'll start recording, and the little timer that'll start going. And so I'll record a little bit here with my hand moving in front of the camera here. And then when you're done recording, hit the stop button. And then it should record everything to your video folder. So this is it'll dump it out as a VLC record, and how it has a time and date and timestamp on it in the file name. So you can just double click on that, and let me make VLC my default player, and hit OK, and it'll start playing the video I just took. And there's my hand. So anyway, so I hope you guys find this useful. If you're in a pinch and need to record your flights but you don't have a DVR, but you happen to have a receiver and an EasyCAP, and this should work with pretty much any receiver. And there's a lot of varieties of these EasyCAPs out there, so usually most of these should work with VLC Media Player. You just have to make sure you have the correct driver installed, and make sure you have the driver for your operating system. The only thing you need is a composite video out here. It comes from the receiver to this cable, and then it goes to the composite video input on the EasyCAP. So that's it. If you have any questions, please leave a comment below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and hopefully you'll subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys later.